Oh, oh yes, indeed. What a great day, and what a beautiful Monday morning it is from the nation's capital in Monrovia. What a pleasant way we'd like to welcome all of you folks to this very exciting edition of the nation's premier breakfast platform, the Freedom Morning Rise on Freedom 87.9. And so, yes, indeed. As always, this is where we discuss the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Liberia. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning on our voice. A pleasant good morning to our friends, our followers, and to those of you in the diaspora. It's always a good thing to have you join us. There are too many things to talk about, lots of things happening in Liberia. And of course, this is where you get the analysis of those issues without fear nor favor. It was a very busy and, of course, eventful weekend. And we are back. It's good to be back behind these microphones. What's the menu? Like we promised, and of course, we've been digging deeper into our situation. Into a situation happening there at the Liberia Airport Authority. And of course, our intelligence arm has revealed some very disturbing realities. And of course, something that gives us the clue as to exactly what is happening there and why some of what is happening is happening. You know, it all started with the board of the Liberia Airport Authority writing a very long letter with a list of grievances, accusations, and of course allegations against the managing director of the airport authority. And of course, the managing director has since responded, but just before his response, he thought to take a leave of absence to allow himself concentrate on the investigation process, which was a good one. And of course, we held some discussions around that. And we became concerned as to why, based on the gravity of the allegations, that the president needed to take even more tougher actions. But again, a deeper review of exactly what is transpiring at the airport has begun showing some new realities, new signals and all that. This is something that has to go way, way deeper. And of course, right here, we have the copy of we've managed to obtain copy of the MD's response, direct response to these allegations. Some of what he believes as particularly the board chair's deliberate desire to resist change and reform, and of course have himself as the de facto administrative leader of the entity, something he believes is contrary to the acts and of course best professional administrative practices. And this is exactly where, according to sources, the issues has been. And how do we get in between there to resolve or mitigate these things? At the same time, there are one-time allegations and of course signals of corruptions and desire to siphon resources belonging to the people of Liberia, and of course for the full and effective running of the Liberia Airport Authority, the Rabas International Airport, so to speak. So this morning we're going to be going deeper into that. And of course, this other one from Bentor City, the Unity Party Auxiliary, the People Action Party. From all indication, it appears to be a clearly established a political movement for the sole purpose of providing some political upper hand for the ruling establishment And of course, this is Senator Sir Joseph's party. In keeping with NEC regulation, they conducted their very first General Congress to elect officials of the party. That which was done over the weekend, and a last report. It will interest you to know that most of the very compelling positions in the party were uncontested and one onward ballot. A very few of them were contested for. Very few of them were contested for. The rest were one onward ballot, inclusive of the political leader. Freedom fighter, you destroy our country. The chairman, the assistant secretary general, the secretary general of the PAP, they all won onward ballot. A vast majority of the county chairpersons also won onward ballot, signaling the lack of desire in most of the partisans to compete, or like some will call it, a stage managed convention in which the outcome were detected, and exactly what came out. Sir Joseph became the political leader as expected. Well, at least one will expect that there will be some level of democracy and, of course, competition. But that wasn't the case over the weekend with the PAP. Something I like to call the ruling party auxiliary, an establishment purposefully brought into existence to give some political upper hand and leverage to the ruling party. As the political leader of the PAP has time without number indicated that he is only a viable man. He is only a man who is supposed to contest for president when President Bouaka is not contesting. But once President Bouaka is contesting, it will take all the human beings from his PAP and dump them to President Bouaka's side. That is to tell you how serious this whole PAP thing is. So it is a temporary political party. Their purpose is hanging. Their purpose is determined by what happened with the ruling party, what happened with President Bouaka. So yeah, it is a kind of swinging pendulum political party established, and they're just swinging between there. When Bouaka go, okay, then it is non-existent, not important. Oh yeah. That's what the guy said. But this is Sir Joseph. We listened to remarks made by him upon the Congress in Bentor. There are also very sweeping and disturbing allegations in the media about this very political leader of the People Action Party, as he remains in the center of land grab accusation, particularly in the Johnsonville area there, versus the Gray family. And we have all of the documentation here. It's important as we run over some of the activity of his political party. It will also be a perfect opportunity to remind him about going back to doing the right thing. Nobody should mind, because of their political power, to fall down over anybody and grab their land and sit down over it when they could have already established the legitimate ownership of the Gray family. Why is the PAP political leader dodging the actual process and refusing to rebar and then carry on massive construction on the very same disputed property? Are all of some of the things we're going to look at here this morning. And of course, what is happening in the social space of our country over the weekend. We witnessed what many will call a cultural shock, as a young lady, a young Liberian lady, seemingly took up the responsibility, showed up the responsibility of marrying her man and this has caused some stir within the social space of the country, as she has received a lot of commendation and praises from Liberian men, as a lot of them are indicating that this should be the new normal, that women, young ladies interested in settling down must begin the process of galvanizing resources, buying land, building houses, building house, buying car, and spraying money on their husbands to be. The shifting rules. But what is most intriguing about that is the fact that national leaders have abandoned the most dire and, of course, concerning national happenings to running behind these social issues. Liberia remains under attack, so to speak. The Guinean army, even now as we're speaking, still remain posted on Liberian soil. And I saw a senior member and senior official of the Boakai administration, and of course some member of the Liberian Senate, and even the presidential spokesperson, all ignoring it. And they are going to Grand Cayman County. They're throwing party as if to say everything is normal. Is it normal for Guinea to invade Liberia now? Has the government resolved on that point? Because they're all throwing party. The vice president was in Cape Town over the weekend. They're having the Gbasa Jamba festival, while Guinean flags are hoisted on Liberian soil, and the government careless, shows zero interest. This is the shape and size of the conversation for you. My name is Abu Sharif, and of course, it's good to have you join us this morning for these and other issues making news in Liberia. And of course, welcome. Let's take a batch of our theme song. And of course, once you come back, we rumble through the issues right here on the big station, Freedom 87.9, the People's Radio.
Because they don't want to talk to us. They say, oh, you want to do everything there to be comfortable. Some enter the ground door. Almost about close to 700 human beings that come from that side. But what food I get here, one more as I'm speaking to you, the whole thing. This is our shit that brought up. This is our food that brought up. Food said we bring our home, water said we drink. The one will bring our own.
What was the arrangement, or how did he get here?
I don't know. They sell,
what did they promise you?
No, they sell food on the ground. They sell food
did you eat?
On the ground. No.
Did you drink?
No. As a man, no. Some weekend there's money. We put anything in our mouth. Now the whole thing is 17. Nothing getting any money month. No food, we're not getting our mouth. So we trying to test. I just said I would thank you for the frustration that you gave us. That's all I get to say.
So do you see the PAP as a 419 party?
I look at the party. Well, my brother, 419, they carry so many ways.
Oh my God, folks, welcome back. And I like the, but why should the journalist pull that 419 inside, right? Must you, right? The guy's already hungry. Do you see the PAP as a 419 party? I mean, what 419 means? I mean, an establishment meant to deceive, and without any genuine purpose, but the overriding objective is to just deceive and dominate people. So basically, that's what delegates of the PAP convention started describing the movement as, particularly when they went in the community, and start to recruit people on false promises, right? And I see my good friend Julius J made a post that for food business to become the order of the day, at a national political event like that means we have a lot of work to do. I will agree with you partly to an extent, and I also believe that it is also revealing of a reality that exists that many have been ignoring and pretending as if to say everything is okay. And especially for those we saw, right, vehemently advocating and projecting this very mission as a mission to redeem and ensure that some of what wearing existing in our country will happen. It is absolutely it is a shame on a part of them. But today, a lot of them who were the mujahideen of the rescue mission, right, are acting as if to say the concerns and complaints of our people, right, really don't matter. They're having regular times. They are going from parties to parties. They're making fun and mockery out of the people after bringing uselessness to them. That's exactly what they are doing, right? You see them, they are doing different things. They're on social media. They're using their social media to be writing nonsense and ignoring the emergencies in the country. The hardship. You will not hear them talk about the gap price. You will not hear them talk about the issues that are confronting our people with transportation, cabmen, and passengers are fighting and quarreling daily. The police brutality. You wouldn't hear them speaking to it, but they are leaders. The shame and disgrace at the border, you wouldn't hear them saying anything, but go on their social media handles. Senior government officials, senators, people who you expect, right, to be asking the hard question, checkmating. And one such person is Senator Amara Kone. I am extremely disappointed. And of course, I'm going to call him after the show. I'm extremely disappointed that in the height of everything that's happening now, it has to be a moment where leaders of his caliber, right, will be most likely making mockery out of the people, since they have a 9 years job and we don't have. They have a guaranteed salary. We don't have. They have a guaranteed welfare, transportation allowance, scratch card allowance, core, right, fuel allowance, and everything we don't have. So it's okay. No problem with what's going on in the country. Guinea can come and hoist their flag any part of Liberia they want to, right? The citizens could be out of their home. They can be out of their home for months. Right? 13 villages have emptied, right? And then you have lawmakers. What real actions, what hard questions have they asked? Zero. What they do, they sit on social media. If the men are posting issue about training in gym, as if to say that normal thing we're going through. This is the height of abandonment and neglect. What is the truth that we can say? But tomorrow, when it's election time, the very same people will come to be the moral voices to tell the country where to go, what to do. When they lead you into mess, and then you give them a job assurance and all that, then they start to ignore and, of course, downplay the most hurting realities on the ground. Because all they care, right, was to remove Mr. Weah. That's all. For them, that is like what only problem. You can go to bed without hunger. Listen to this grown-up man and about 70 of his peers, right? Simply telling you that the reason they were recruited to go and attend a political party rally because they were a show of food, say a lot of food will be there, a lot of water will be there, enjoyment will be there. So that is to tell you that man and the host of them are sitting in abject hunger, and that to be assured that food will be somewhere, they are willing to go there to take away and take it for their family. Isn't that the reality? That is the fight. People are hungry. They're looking for food. People are not attending political rallies because they believe in some sort of a manifesto or the individuals. For example, is the individual even anybody to believe in? He himself has what? Has downplayed and looked down on himself. Sir Joseph, as a man, does not even have faith in himself as a presidential material. He is my friend, but I am going to say this to him. Sir Joseph himself, it is an absolute slap in the face of any sound human being to still be considering and following Sir Joseph. Absolutely not. The man who does not even believe in himself. For the mere fact that this man at this point will be telling you that, oh, you see me, the whole presidency thing, the only time I am sound, I guess, sense to be president, I come near and trying to want to be president is when Baka say you're not running. But when Baka say you're running, all the things are putting together, everything will just stay so. Then I see people, but anyway, they were truck in boss. They were truck in boss to the place. But that's besides the point. When we understand, when we say, oh, trying to provide transportation because it's outside and, it's all the way there in Bentel, trying to help people with transportation to commute, blah, 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 and all that. But not only that was done, people will also show food, that will give you food, come for the convention, will give you water, will give you transportation. So assuming that was not available, the people, they wouldn't have gone there. They wouldn't have gone there. So, Sir Joseph, from the beginning to the middle to the end, is an unserious man. Very unserious. I mean, for God's sake, the man himself declared himself unserious. The man said to all of us that the only time he will contest is when the other man not contest. So that means the man is, right, the man is what? Subservient to the whims and caprice of another political party owner, political leader. This is a classic definition of what they call helping verb. So when they make it stand on your own, then we'll go with helping. That is nonsense. Is that how Liberia is supposed to pursue change? Is that how Liberia is supposed to pursue emancipation from economic paralysis? Is that the way it is supposed to happen? I said no. So these kinds of misguided elements confusing the political space must be condemned, and of course, they must be discouraged, and our people must resist them. See what happened. Complete shame and embarrassment. No political party formation has begun on this. Because you know what? God is not sleeping. The intent, like the journalist said, a 419 organization intended squarely to deceive the people, while of course protecting the actual intent. The intent is to ferment this rocket establishment that have derailed its purpose, and of course is leading the country into complete mess on a daily basis across every angle. Look at the economy. Imagine the height of irresponsibility on the part of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning honor a guy who has been hyped to be some sort of a financial messiah in Liberia, Gaffwan, right? A liar, a guy who lies for a living, a blatant, terrible, disgraced liar, right? This man, when he came, in fact, along with the CSA man, they said they were what? Introducing bi-monthly payment, a salary payment scheme, by which, in fact, civil servants, you shouldn't worry. We have the capacity, the know-how. We'll start paying you after every 2 weeks. 2 weeks will pay you. Then before the month end, then we'll pay you again. Person say, oh yeah, they may not know what they can do. Has that materialized? Zero. They make him, he promised government workers that as of the 25th, right, you receive your payment. Did that materialize? Zero. This man came, he said, by February of 2025, no civil servant, nobody working in government will make less than $150. Is that true? No. Gaffwan is a big, horrible, disgraced liar. That's who he is. For those of you who can bootleg him and go there to be begging for for Hannah. You can consider him as whatever. But for me, I think it's a zero man, a big trouser wearing deceiver. That's who he is. You see him wear the big oversized wheelbarrow coat. You think he's some kind of serious and committed or something genuine man. He's not. He's a terrible undercover state looter. That's exactly who he is. How you come lying to the country, right? Pay the people money. Since February, you can't pay the people, right? You can't pay the people, and then you lying on a commercial bank. This is a terrible financial, business relations. But the GT Bank people have their public relation people that are supposed to talk for them. So I'm not going to do something people taking pay for or taking money for that. It's not going to be my business to do it. But I think it was outrightly irresponsible, right, for the government of Liberia, no matter what, right, to begin to hold press conference and throw financial institution under the boss, thereby, right, inviting some degree of panic, withdrawal, and undermining the business. Then we begin to investigate why would the government choose to do that. But it's up to the GT Bank to deal with it the way they want to deal with it. But in a nutshell, this is what Sir Joseph wants to remain, where they will not pay you and they will come and lie to you, say, oh, that a bank. The bank issue statement, the bank say it is an absolute lie. In order for the bank to begin debiting employees' account, right? The Ministry of Finance and other relevant agencies will have to clear and approve the payment. And before they do that, the money got to be there. You don't send the money, you don't clear the money, nothing. Then you go, you send a message to the employee, say, oh, we finished doing our own. Then you go check in the bank, no money there. Then you put the bank under the boss. Embarrass the people's business. Then we having serious matter like that, so then causing 419 distraction. And for me, we've told you all, look, what we are going through, we know what we are going through in this country. Do you know what it means to exist in a country where the nation gets extremely divided and certain people in government believe that, right, only them are supposed to benefit from whatever in the country, and they ostracize the vast majority, and somebody think that is a normal thing to live in, right? We will resist and continue to expose this government and make sure that it comes down, and all these nonsense idiots are seeing themselves as some sort of demagogues. The time will come that they will sit down and they will go on their knees begging. It's just a matter of time. It will happen to you. You have the opportunity to lead a country. You say, no, you're not leading a country. You will select a few people. And you have nonsense element within the scene system themselves too, trying to purge other people and, of course, undermine professionals because they think they are more partisan. Should we be running the country on partisanship? Then you have a waste of time. Man calling himself, oh, PAP. What kind of PAP? That PAP time, you collect people and carry them for nonsense. You even get water to give them. Eh? You won't be. Who tells you that the man won't be president? The major won't disrupt. Who told you say the man won't be president? Eh? Let the mayor. These are the documents from the Gray family. Since when? Since 2023 June. Up to present, right? And of course, the eviction order was issued in April 19, 2024. But by this time, right, the PAP political leader have already pledged allegiance. These are some of the reasons he pledged allegiance to the Joseph Boakai regime and even established a political party, because they have built on people's land. They don't want to leave it. So they want to be closer to power all the time while the poor people are crying out. Here is it. This is the court's communication to the Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman to do what? To go and effect this eviction of Sir Joseph and others from a land that does not belong to them, from a land that they have not. But guess what? This is the same property that Sir is building vocational school on to use to in campaign. What is that? Here is the court. The court ruling. Has Sir go and build a gigantic multi-million-dollar structure on the land that does not belong to him, that he has not duly and legally paid for. We have the people here, and I've been calling him since he has refused to pick the call. Right? So why is Sir refusing? It was a 9-man jury that ruled in favor of the Gray family on the Johnsonville Nimba United Community land that Sir Joseph has his I know polytechnic or what kind of technic, a PAP school. This is absolutely unacceptable. Leaders are supposed to be fair, right? When you have this man, they've gone through everything they can. They have spent every resources they have because they do not have power. And of course, the president of the Republic of Liberia is aiding and abetting Sir in these illegal pursuits, providing the necessary covers. Because if the court has instructed the police to go ahead and effect the eviction of Sir and other people, and most of the guys who are holding on to this place, they are holding on to it because of the assurances that Sir has given them. Because mind you, Legray and the other explained to us, and the last time they appeared here, right? Sir was the one who, based on his position as senator of the county, who intervened and halted and delayed the eviction on the first time. And ever since he did that, he has never reached out. Even families that are willing to go and negotiate and renegotiate with the Gray family are now reluctant to do so because of some degree of assurance that Sir has given them. So can we find the best of the best in our country to be leaders, exploiters, and people who are stepping on us and abusing our rights, taking our properties, should be the ones? You keep the people in poverty, you keep the people in hunger, and then you use them. That's exactly what they do. Right? You use the people. You keep them hungry. And then you believe that you can use this ill-gotten wealth, these very monies that you have accrued out of deceiving and manipulating the very system that should work for the Liberian people, right? After giving you political power, occupying political offices, where the private people should go and have opportunities, you collect all these opportunities. When companies come to the country, that's supposed to be a window of business opportunity for ordinary Liberians, you the same EAO senators go back there, you will buy truck, you will buy yellow machine, right? You will buy Tengo and give it to the people. Go to Asilometer, you there. Bosses, you put it there. Can an ordinary Limbayan who is not in politics, just a businessman, be allowed that opportunity to buy buses and give it to Asilometer, and then wealth is distributed across? No. But people use their power as senator. They are the one that will supply Asilometer with bus. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with dump truck. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with yellow machine. They are the same people that will supply Asilometer with Tenko truck. Then what the ordinary people will do, then they come to Monrovia, they say they can organize political party. then they're supposed to be taken seriously, right? What is the source of their wealth? Exploitation, right? Strangulations, denial of the ordinary people, the very opportunity and privilege that they should enjoy, abusing their political power, right, at the detriment of the people, and then they come back and say there's some sort of messiah, simply because they want to use that, like the reporter or the journalist act, a 419 arrangement, a 419 political party gets established with a cover and, of course, covert intent to deceive and, of course, fool the Liberian people. Do not waste your time behind these people. You see, their first convention they say fool, no fool. First convention, no competition, because it was programmed and staged to come with the same result, and that the same result it came with. Kokolo Baba, he left from there, he came back, said, no, it is not a serious movement. It is not a movement interested in the people. It is not a movement interested in preferring an alternative. It is a movement established to support the spoil. So if that is the case, let me stay with my side. This should have been an alternative movement. But no, it is not that, right? The clear goal and intent is to continue to support, right, and protect the political leverage of one man. Should we take that man seriously? No. At the detriment of our future? Absolutely no. So Sam must be rejected, and Sam must open an apology for collecting our people and taking them on force and 419 premises without food. It may look funny to you, but it's serious. And the government must take responsibility. Sir is organizing a political party to support a government and a president who has failed to provide food for his people. To the extent his people are hungry and they attend his own political party and they're crying that they did not get food from there. So you see how the argument is defeated on arrival right there. You want to support, right, a system that has failed in providing the bare minimum feeding for its people. But let's hear your reaction. What are these? Are these all calculated distraction? Should we be carried away, fellow Liberians? Right? What do you think about Sir Joseph forming a political party in the midst of the challenges and issues that we have? How effectively is Sir even using his oversight as a senator? When is the last critical issue in the country that you heard Sir voice on? Which one? Is it a demolition? Is it in 2024 when flooding was taking over? Right? Is it sometime in the end of 2024 to 2025 when fire disaster was sweeping across the country? Where have you heard Sir speaking? Have you heard Sir on the killings in Kinjor? What prepares Sir for anything near presidency or organizing a political movement? How effectively has Sir utilized his role, right, as a senator of Montserrado County? When? Where? Right? All the disaster that has happened in the county, right? The constraints that the people continue to talk about. Even the blind people that were complaining, right? Has ever used his office as senator of Montserrado to invite, right? To invite the Commission on People Living with Disability to seek and to intervene? Sir doesn't, because when he do that, he'll be critical on the government, and he does not want to be critical on the government. Let's hear you. Sir, is a challenge to you. What about the demolition exercise? What have Sir ever done about that? Where? School fees, transportation, the APRC increasing prices, the LTM usurping the function of the Ministry of Transport. Where is Sir Joseph? But today, Sir T, he forming PAP, he won't be president. What do you think? This is your country. You got to speak to the people because they take us to be fool. They take you to be fool. You, the electors, they take you to be fool. And that's why after you get in 9 years, they make mockery out of you. They take you to be unserious. You're in the street in the sun. You're raising concerns while they're in gym. They're doing Facebook memes. They're throwing parties. They're going for Gbasajama. They're throwing BB birthday parties. When the land in Foya is being invaded. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call at 9 o'clock. Of course, we go and have our main conversation. But let's hear your thought on these. What is the GT Bank and the Ministry of Finance? Who can we hold responsible in that whole GT Bank salary delay? The Ministry of Finance, who should civil servants hold responsible? Do you think the response from the Ministry of Finance make any sense? I do not believe so. How do you take away your responsibility and throw it on a private bank when you are the one who's supposed to be paying the people? The government, you said you were better than, never did that. They took responsibility for everything that was happening under their watch. But today, you don't want to take responsibility because you're so very useless. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call. And let's hear you. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Go ahead. You're live. What's your name?
This is Chief Moses White calling you from Ralphie Highway resident.
Mm-hmm.
And the advisor for you relying for responsible governance.
Go ahead.
Also say a project to make sure that the 14 additional operation of district be canceled. Okay, let me give you my point. On this topic. You see, my brother, in Liberia, people was zero. All those guys, Sir Joseph, Thomas Fala, and the rest, and the speaker, and the rest of the guys that went to Lofa to pay for oil. Like when people start telling them, the more we can look at it, that the more we eat that money, that the more we put their property. If a leave of you must work on it. We'll put all of you out in 2049. All of them will go say that. Because the people not see what they feel.
But the people say they're holding together. That why they forming party to make sure that they remain there.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? They say they get it all being said. 2029, my brother, beginning 2027, 2028, moving forward, will be very aggressive. And then no violence and no protest. They will see it in us. They will tell them that we got sense. They are not the only person that's supposed to be represented. They all senator. Those are fools. You use or then you don't work on the side. Or they just sad and as soon as you are not going to say that said they are not come to that senses.
Then they're making fun out of the Liberian people. Who are these people? Good morning. Morning. What kind of nonsense here? The country under attack. Then Vice President showing party, right? Then Sir Joseph calling people and getting them food. Let's hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend. Okay, change your location. You call back. Good morning.
Morning, Abu.
Morning.
I call you from PHP. Resident this morning. To the issue, people that start Joseph in the country, even if we decide to come out and run for representative, he can never win representative in this country. So, for he going and opening a political party, he's making fun of himself. That Joseph is not a serious person in this country, and we know that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Morning. Morning, you're live. You got to move away from your monitor. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers. Let's hear you. How do you react? Good morning.
Yeah, Abu, this is Brown Daddy from Monrovia.
Go ahead, Brown.
Yeah, let me thank you so much for your discussion this morning and those issues that you raised. But let me go straight to Honorable Joseph, Senator Joseph. You know that when he came from abroad, when they hosted that program at the Capitol building, where he said he had an salary, he promised that he was going to deposit $10,000 in the people's account. In fact, immediately they should establish the account, and that the query will be, I'm going to say 5% or 3%, something like that. Up to that time, they went to 1 year now. That has not gone in our account. I got my friend there with him. Anytime
so the making y'all go around making BB promises, but then after the cameras are off, it doesn't deliver on them.
Why you tell the people to Bento? If you're not prepared for anything, I mean, you're still embarrassing people. You're still embarrassing the hell way.
Then they promise the people that they have food there, the people could carry take away home, but the people when there no food, no water, nothing.
I say, Abu.
It was not for food, Beno. The people were concerned about lying to them, not just about food. And all of you trying to make it like food, no. But the fact that you can't tell people something and they go there, then you're making fun of it. These are family hairs. You can't do that to people.
And the message from America said, you even know what to do. America, where you can, or land of milk and honey. That's where you come from. You can't follow 400 men. How are you talking? I follow that whole program. They were just talking all kind of things. Thank you, man. Thank you to exposing some of those people.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll do that. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Abu. I'm Abby Johnson calling from Tobago, the chairperson for the Concerned Librarian for Justice. You see, what's happening in the country, people can overlook it. It's Minister of Finance, it's inability to lead to govern our ministry. That's why you only talking about open bread bottom ministry. So if you're not able to pay the people, or if you lie on the, you check it out, the man is lying on the bank. Because if you send money to the bank to be able to pay people, the bank will pay people. So when something happens with people with salary, you don't share the bank over.
So then the question is, how can they see bank that are paying people from January 2024 up to now, but that today they both decide to hold the money, they say they ain't paying the people? Does that thing make sense?
So why they never send money there? You know, you can say if they check the people for money now, they check it, you know that one. They think that the person will be stupid to take the money to give it. When you know that check is there, nothing on it. So you can tell the message who say people will give you the money. And the man knows that when you do that, your business will run down. So the man will not pay you. Expect you to do deal for pay the people, and then we'll give you the money later. They put a lot of people. They put a lot of people, so they continue to be lying.
So you think Gafan is lying on the bank?
Gafan is lying on the bank.
Okay, Gafan. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, I put to conclude. I put to conclude.
Conclude on what thing again, my man? I thought you made your point.
No, I got interrupted in the process.
Yeah, but they learn too basic. Plenty people won't call when you call you tell your own. You send other people go to. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We ain't got a luxury to be taking one call or two times. Go ahead. Chicken Zufactory. How far is Chicken Zufactory road?
That road, but just forget about it. They are still on that road. In fact, the embarrassment it cost for all, they can't open your cover that they said the entire community are cracking into it. And nobody is taking leadership to look after that road. But my issue I cover is about Sir Joseph. During the campaign, Sir Joseph came to you, a primary group of women, put them together, make them women to buy chairs and other things, and say, organize and say, you are going to place 600,000 in their account.
Now who did that against Sir Joseph?
Sir Joseph, of course.
In Chicken Zufactory.
In Chicken Zufactory, he told the women, say, organize and say, rent office. The poor rented our office, the bond chairs, the other thing, the poor started taxing themselves. Sir Joseph said, you're going to put 600,000 in their account. Look, my brother. Sir Joseph can just go places, he make big promises. He will just, when you hear that man on air, you say, man on fire, you better do it for the whole country, but on the contrary, it's a big deceit that Sir Joseph can be carried on. And Sir Joseph think that he will keep fooling out people around.
So the whole party thing, now start, you think it's looking serious?
How you call that type of thing a serious political party? Look, let me tell you, people know Sir Joseph rhetoric. Except for those who are not smart, who are not interacting with him. But if you are very smart with Sir Joseph and interact with him, you will know who Sir Joseph is. Sir Joseph can just be playing rhetoric.
putting people on showing that in so many very junior politics. I say you promise us women, you are going to put 700,000 in your account.
And I kissy women here on level that out.
Oh, of course, I communicated because I found a place. Now see our role, you're talking the role is palace.
Okay, thank you very much. But the winning season coming, you're way small. This is income. Money.
Yeah, morning, Abu Shari.
Morning. Good. Let's hear you.
Yeah, money is Mohammed K. Dugle Bacha, Purba, District number 2, most of one part of the Bama District, most of all country.
Go ahead. District number 2.
Going on the Jonesy Township.
Mm-hmm.
Abu, sir, it's now somebody for to be discussing for now.
They say you're enjoying in Johnsonville there.
Well, that's what I think the Bama District, well, you know the male games of take up make up. It wouldn't mean that all will be a representative, he always going to put. So he want a record.
Okay, let's talk about Sir Joseph. Sir Joseph said he won't be president.
Gee, sir, we don't have to get started, I can't get even me, I get me.
No, leader won't buy that. Then you be here with the debate and forget about Sarah win election. You win community election. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Fisher calling from the Virginia District.
Virginia Speaker District.
Virginia Speaker District.
Okay, the Billboard Speaker.
The Billboard Speaker. Yeah, Abu, my daughter is in St. Joseph School. The food the children they told the children they were going on trip.
Oh, the food there. So even the student, or they can be food in the student, or as soon as much children?
The students, as I'm speaking, my daughter in St. Joseph School.
Yeah, but then sir, we got to call Saturday morning. They think you're getting too much.
She came. She said we're going on trip. St. Joseph carrying on the school carrying on trip. They're sending up buses to go. We'll have dinner. We'll have lunch. Everything that how they told the children. And the children left. They went. That Saturday. I know Saturday or Friday they went. When they went, the children were there. My daughter called me. Oh, mommy, they told me that no food since we came. No food. The student you can hear at the back. No water, no food. The food we all just dash. Oh yeah, we said no what we here for. We just passing around hungry. Yeah. She started calling all the children at the back. They started calling.
So that means you are not surprised when you hear the delegate saying that no food, no water, because you already had the experience with your children in school.
Exactly. So
that means Sunday should be beyond the no food, no water being associated with Sir Joseph, a program now. Yeah, organized carrying no food, no water. Something we gotta do, some kind of spiritual investigation. Yeah. Anything possible. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to Freedom FM family and good morning to you there, Abu Shari, the also AF Commanders. When we are discussing politicians or serious-minded people in our country, nonetheless, Sir Joseph. Because me, I don't talk about Sir
Joseph. But the men are senator now. I will not discuss them. The men are senator.
Listen, for Tony, who says we have made him a representative up to now, nothing in there has done to the people. We not putting him in because of humanitarian exercise he did, 2014 labor, that's all.
Yeah, but that's something there too. What the men do now? And you say humanitarian exercise.
That just one aspect. When you have left that position as a humanitarian to come to the disco of politics, we were not even classified because it's a jack. It has no impact on me in our house of Senate. It has no impact in our house of representatives. You expect we want to promote lawmaker. It's not us that.
Okay, thank you very much. No food, no water, political party on the spotlight. Let's hear you. Good morning. What do you think?
Good morning. Okay.
Abu here.
Yes, sir. Abu, I say.
Okay, let's hear you.
Okay, this is Sally Adibagre calling you from Guapolu County, sir.
Guapolu County.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
You know what's going on in the country? It's a bad thing.
Okay.
Sir Joseph, even when Sir Joseph contest tomorrow, all the Kisi people will let him vote for him.
Okay.
And when the Kisi are in majority, you find out that Sir Joseph will win election. And when we win election, the majority will suffer it. So we are asking the electoral people to forget about those kind of vote. Don't say because you kiss me, I will vote for you. Vote for somebody that will benefit you and benefit your children and lay your foundation. So those are the things that stop us.
Okay, thank you very much. Fair enough. But they say, oh, your Bible post say, all your problems solved because you're saying talking, you're being on Facebook, acting normal, doing all kind of things. So that means you don't get no issue.
Our problem not solved. We are facing problem yet. Now we are speaking to you. Pachigo will be hosting meeting with the citizens today. Pachigo are not doing the right thing for us. The MTA that the road and some with the Brown government, they are not even
But all your two senators in Moria, they chilling, they doing regular thing, and they're going to gym, they having party, then nothing, they're not talking for you. They say you get everything you want.
The other senator, they call he allowed all during the campaign down. In my time, he came here, he could have a mosque, demolished, he said he was going to build a mosque. By the time he got in power, he had never come back here even to tell us.
But the man said the government doing everything for you now. They get your carbon water, current there, everybody, all the children going to school, no problem there again. So because of the picture they put in on tomorrow.
Forget about the carbon water. If you ever propose to say the carbon water, even not active. I tell you. So flamboyancy.
So they abandon you.
They abandon us. I'm not gonna I'm surprised at him because he really came here. He did a lot of talking here. One of the things that damaging the country that talking. I'm not gonna win vote there with talking. When you win the vote, he said that if money when you win the election.
Okay, that one there, like your own setting there, you gotta look at it. Good morning. To feel like, yeah, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, all European people they are not good. They can lie.
No, I want you to generalize it. Let's deal with the individual. No, let's deal with the individual. It can't be everybody. We can't do that.
Okay, let's look at Sir Joseph.
That's Sir Joseph now work for all that he will know about. Who know about all the Lofen people.
Sir Joseph know that you want behind Baka with power. We want part two is only another party. So they have a four year to follow, but to get to tomorrow. They're the people putting up there. Two one from another party as senator. There are no people coming in as senator, as president, and you can look at a position. When you do the first thing when you're senator, when you do first for the country you represent, for the whole country.
Okay.
There's people down there, hungry, crying, and they want to be president. So let's forget about that, man.
Okay, thank you very much, folks. We're about to conclude on this segment, but let's just chip in the Solomba situation because this is what the government wants, and that's why you see they're throwing all kind of directionary things out there so that people get taken away from this Solomba thing. And we believe until the government can clearly tell us that they have ceded the Solomba land to Guinea, we still believe there is good reason for Liberians to keep pushing for the land, to keep asking the hard questions and keep ensuring that our communities are restored. Our people are restored to their homes and their farmland and all of that. But from the look of things and what we're seeing within the leadership bracket of the country, it seems as though leadership is now really paying attention to the concerns there, right? It has been three to 4 weeks now since Guinea soldier people captured, so to speak, right? The Solomba borderland and take up the deployment over there. And our government gave us lots of different assurances that they were going to mitigate the matter. And the president spoke that the movements along the borders were part of drawdown exercises. And it has been 3 to 4 weeks. We're seeing no drawdown or, if you may, withdrawal of the Guineans. They stay there while Liberians are comfortably, Liberian security and border patrol officers are comfortably pushed further in to the Liberian side of it. So in the midst of all of that, to validate further that the government has actually reached a conclusion on this matter, but refusing to clearly tell the country what is it. We keep seeing senior officials of the government in the midst of this having parties as if to say this is normal period. So if if the country is faced with urgency, and then you do not see certain degree of emergency on the faces and attitude of leaders, then what does that say to you, right? It says a lot. Now, it starts with the vice president in Ganta. In the midst of the border crisis, the vice president organized a gargantuan birthday celebration in Ganta City. Even though the aftermath of that party, politically, it did not occur too well for him, because he was let down and abandoned by hardcore elements and senior officials of the government from the Unity Party angle. Oh, okay, that is news for you. Let me just give you a gist of that. And the vice president celebration in Ganta was boycotted by hierarchies of the Unity Party, right? There are a lot of political reasons behind that, which we will tell you in subsequently. But of course, that did not go well with the vice president. And rumor has it that this is because among hardcore Unity partisans, they believe the vice president is building himself up for what elements in the cycle believe to be an inevitable takeover from Joseph Boakai, believing that possibilities and chances are that Mr. Boakai may not even end up to 2023, and that when he shall have taken over, he will get rid of all of the Unity Party people. So the guys are building a serious block against him. And this guy, Gaffon, is the chief architect of that, to the point where Gaffon is recommending for the dismissal of some Nimbayans, senior Nimbayans in the Ministry of Finance. Oh, okay, you're hearing this for the first time. Gaffon is orchestrating, if he has not, right? If he has not done already, he is preparing for the to recommend to the president to remove the deputy finance minister for fiscal, right? I call it Myers. In fact, they do not even see eye to eye. He bypasses the man, and the man too didn't get time for him. He's dealing with, I think, the deputy or whatever. So it's like that. The relationship is terrible. So the Nimba fragment within the ministry don't work in cohort with the minister proper, and the minister proper has designed a Lofa block. So there's a Lofa or Unity Party block versus a Nimba and the MDR block within the Ministry of Finance. So the vice president told that party in Nimba, when crisis was at the border, when even rebels in Labrador were threatening to go there. This thing here has created a serious situation for our country. To the point now, because Guinea have intelligence sources, like I told you the other days, and we too have our intelligence sources. And sometimes intelligent people, they're working, they got to justify their work. So they will be sending some intelligence. They will be sending something. It's left with the authority there to filter them properly, right? And see what they can use, what they can build on. So as these developments are taking place and all of that, rebels are issuing ultimatum, they're challenging, and these are rebels supported by the government, right? It creates a picture as if to say the government is open to an armed insurgent living from Liberia to Guinea. That is a terrible and dangerous picture. And this is the reason why the government of Liberia needed to firmly condemn the action and attitude by these non-state elements and put them in check to signal, because we want peace here. We don't want anything, especially those who do not have the responsibility or the authority to speak on behalf of the state. Be talking loosely. You can have your sentiment, you can talk about your feelings and all that in any way that is unofficial. But when you start to go publicly, and of course, with the media and the international media picking up on what you're saying, is terrible and it's dangerous for our country. It puts us on a high security alert. That's what it does. Imagine for the reckless attitude of rescue soldiers, rescue militias, the reckless utterances of these rescue militias in our country go on high security alert. When the country gets on high security alert, it discourages investors from coming to the country, right? So you can sit in a society and you have rebels, ex-combatants, and making utterances that will have a damning effect on the social and economic stability of the country. Already we have the Middle East crisis that's already having a toll, not as significant as one who try to make it to look, but it is having some degree of toll on our economy, right? And all of that. Then to have a risk of border instability adding to that, right? Because investor will be calculating between the level of stability. But if the fuel and intelligence makes them to feel that there is a potential for a cross-border crisis, then they will hold back. That is not good for our economy. We are already catching hard time in the country. So this is for those who are taking the country money as salaries and benefit to be pondering, thinking over, and arresting the matter. But if we can allow Botnick, right, a collaborator of the rescue government, to be jeopardizing the economic stability of our country, right, and giving him political protection, and not taking practical action that communicate to our counterparts that no, these utterances are not sanctioned, and of course the government of Liberia remain vehement against these kinds of utterances that has the proclivity to create tension between our sisterly countries, right? Then that means we do not mean well as a country and a government. So something has to be done. So amid all of these, right, the senior officials of government that should be taking these kind of actions are rather ignoring the urgency and the emergency of our border tension and having parties and celebrating normal, right? Over the weekend, Honduras, the same vice president again, led an avalanche of senior government officials to Grand Cayman County for what? Celebration. So Lofa, Solomba, Foya people, you're on your own. The rest of us, we're on our own. Because if citizens get mobilized, right, unknowingly, to take any kind of action that threatens the presence of the Guinean people along that border, now that our soldiers, our government has seemingly abandoned the responsibility of doing what it can and communicating the urgency of what is happening at the border and towing parties in Monrovia and other parts of the country, right? These citizens that are denied their farmlands, their homes, and what have you, right? Nobody know what they will be, contemplating. Nobody know that. And this is why we have to keep the government feet to the fire to act responsibly and, of course, address the matter, in a way that resolves and assures that there is peace and tranquility. We're seeing nonsense attitude from those in power. So now, fellow Liberians, where are we? So Guinea not take the land officially and finally. So all we can say to those of you in Lofa is that you just have to remain peaceful, come and let it be. Find a way, come in war, find another family and be there. Look, go enter the bush, start new farm. It's hard, it's tough. But the people that are supposed to be acting for you, they're throwing parties, they're celebrating, they're drinking liquor, and they're doing all kinds of things in the country. They don't care. Nobody's talking about it. Check all their social media handles. You see what is happening there? And they're talking about how a woman supposed to be marrying men. That time, yeah, they border, they put out the land, right? Guinean flag. So we got two flags in the country: Guinean flag and Liberia flag in Liberia. And that is not even troubling to the government and its senior officials. senators and representatives are not even having conversation about that. Senators whom the president went and had a briefing on the matter too, right? They all okay. They all silent. So we are on our own. This for me looks like the conclusion in the Solomba issue. This for me looks like the final decision of the rescue government. That Guinea will take that place and nobody can do anything. And that's about it. Right? What is the status of the investigation into the illegal mining? Senators should be demanding that instead of senators being on social media, right? And acting like everything is normal. They should be demanding accountability. They're not doing that. We have a rubber stamp legislature. We have a useless group of people there, right? Leeching on the state and delivering zero in terms of results. But what do you think? 0776 104 104 0865 104. And then in 7 minutes, let's take your reaction on this, right? Okay, let's take your reaction on this. 0776 104 104 0865 104. And then we can move and talk something else right here. This caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning once again. The name remains Pastor A.F. Kamal. Strictly to the point, the issue, the Solomon issue, government is not about those issues. These guys are very regular. How can you have?
Oh my God! You went off 0776 104 104 0865 104. The numbers to call. Good morning.
Morning, Abu.
Morning.
Thank you very much. Abu, I'm Spencer Mohammed, and I call from my Popo Kono, Down Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community. Abu, thank you this morning. In my mind, Abu, you just said it all. President Boakai, he knows exactly what is happening in Lofa County. In my mind, President Boakai must tell the Liberian people about the crush of what is happening in Lofa. Who's carrying the drag to Makona River that had led Liberia to lose a territorial limit today? When we were
then the lawmaker will depending on her to be demanding and asking the hard question. They don't care. Go on social media, you see them acting normal, doing all kinds of things, making fool out of the Liberian people. So why are we paying them all the money? Let's say the executive want to abandon and compromise the thing. So why the lawmakers will be accomplice in that?
Thank you, Abu. Yes, we heard quote-unquote lie talking about Spanish. We heard a quote-unquote lie talking about rubber stamp. But today, what we are seeing today is more than rubber stamp. So, Abu, what the guys did to what the last days here, they were not sincere to us. The guys just indoctrinated envy and just jealousy in the minds of the people of Liberia under the canopy of advocacy to come and loot our country. The guys, they were not real to us. And today, we're seeing a difference. The guys will never see that because all of them are milking our country.
Okay.
They want to do
so that means Guinea tell the land, all right?
Guinea are taking the land.
Okay, thank you very much. 0776 104 104 0865 104 are the numbers to call. With all the parties that senior government officials are showing and things are going on in the country, it means finally everybody should take their half on the land. Take the land. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. The federal government to give Liberia land. Oh, good morning. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from MTA, Little Jackson Temple.
Go ahead.
Yeah, every demarcation of Guinea between Guinea and Liberia.
So what a demarcation? The demarcation says Solomba for Guinea?
No.
But Guinea stay there is almost one more now.
Behind the water.
But they're not behind the water. Yeah, but they're not behind Makona again. They're in from Makona. They have been in from they have been but they have been in from Makona. The government says okay, and they haven't party. They're doing Basajama party.
Yeah, but they want to say so. They take the demarcation. They see they keep behind to Tunisia. You see, they are quite 9 nations.
You you're talking about United Nations Benepo doing Basajama Party, you say United Nations. Good morning, let's hear you.
Good morning. My name is Thomas Sumeri Eba. I'm calling you from University of Nigeria.
Go ahead.
Abu, you see, one of it is clear that the worker is aware that it has taken our territory, that pushes our territory. If the worker has already given it to them. Because according to what we are seeing, organized with the attention to that, those people practice and nothing going on. We want to talk about it, say because of it. And so if we just say that Mr. Walker has given that even before, they have to see the image of their corrupt or criminal PKD first. Because if Mr. Walker who have just trained those people who have then seen the little drama or mirror for the water, they put across the river and can't see the river. They don't sleep for land. But Mr. Walker is so shame, he is totally shame.
Okay, thank you very much. The next festival now, GB Festival. The boy, they're making party. They're celebrating party. Why the poor taking the land? Good morning.
Good morning, Abu Shari.
Morning.
Alexander Chise.
Go ahead, my brother. One country, two flags.
Yeah, so I've been going to watch the topic. Yeah, Abu, thank you for the topic this morning. I will always appreciate you for your effort. And thanks to Omega Science for not to raise the flag. Abu, is so disappointing to be honest. Government being small inside this government. To sit there, Labrador being the first African country to have independence. To sit there, little Guinea come and take land from you is so disappointing. And like the government is already now to go back and tell the people in Solomon, say, oh, you all need to come back. They land and pop already taking it, we can't get to nothing. But how to go about telling the people? To be honest, the people are taking the land and we can do nothing. Because you see the government sit there, no one is saying nothing, people there celebrating their Pasanyama festival on the other side. You guys are just there launching party or having other convention for a party. It's disappointing. I just think for the people that are over there, those have already made their farms, those are already established, they are left there, their homes over there, and now they are about to relocate to another place. It's so disappointing. Thank you for the topic on the discussion. I think you go about saying more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so we're gonna hold it there. Fellow Liberians, this is where our focus ought to be. This is where we ought to be concentrated on. The kind and sort of decision that's taken by the leadership to affect and protect and preserve the true Liberian identity. And part of that, because we have a land, that's why we have a country. And because we have a country, that's why we have Liberians. So when you take the land away, right, or you resize the land, then you are diminishing our identity. You're reducing our affluence. And you understand? But to do this under compromised canopy and refusing to be open with the truth to the Liberian people, and you think you can demonize a category of the citizens that are demanding accountability in the matter or around the subject, will earn you, a free passage in this conversation. You're dead wrong. We're not going to kowtow into that nonsense. Absolutely not. We're going to remain firm and demanding real answers in this Solomba instance and others that threaten the territorial integrity of our country, because this is the most singular responsibility that any well-meaning government will always act to preserve. Countries remain at war and ensuring that they protect their territories. So to be compromising and, of course, not providing the adequate clarity and information to the people at the same time, still putting us under the impression that we have legit and legitimate claim as we've known it to be, right? And not communicating any new reality that re-inform us about the situations at the border, says that the government is exhibiting negligence of its duty to protecting the territorial integrity of our country, thereby surrendering Liberia's sovereignty to Guinea. This is the conclusion, and of course, this is what that any sound, reasonable evaluator of what is going on at Solomba will definitely come to. And there is no way you can sugarcoat it. And there is no degree of blackmail can erase that fact. There is no degree of censorship can erase that narrative. There is no degree of harassment and intimidation can make us to koto into not speaking the truth in the matter. That's what we told you. You're making all that noise and trying to mix the things up, right? This thing is severe than the government is trying to make it to look like. Now, you said you are launching an investigation. It has been 2 weeks. There's no update. It is clear from every indication that all of these situations at Solomba ensued because of an alleged illegal mining activities, and a company was identified. You subjected that company to investigation, and you've brought up no update on it, and our lawmakers are not interested in matters around that company, and they are doing nonsense and being very insensitive to the concerns of these Liberians that are homeless, displaced, stranded, left without food, left with nothing to do. And you think you're supposed to be a lawmaker dignified with respect? We say no. But let's take a break. We come back. But we're having some issues with our system here. The sound is not coming out. Trying to get this, but then it's not. If Chris is here, probably he can come with some technical assistance. But so we'll hold it there, right? Until the technical interventions are made. 2023, when we went to the ballots to decide the fate of this country, irrespective of which direction you saw it, which is our constitutionally guaranteed rights to decide and make a choice and make a decision, and nobody must be made to look lesser Liberian because of the choices they made during our democratic period. That should not be the case. And we serve here as voices to continuously give you that courage, that tenacity to believe in yourself and believing that you are who you are because of the Constitution and the right the Constitution gave you. So any action of yours that's within the confine of the law, don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid and do not apologize for it. Any actions and attitude or actions or activities of yours that's within the confines of the Liberian laws, do not apologize to anybody, because that person who you're trying to apologize to hold no superior authority or rights over you. Absolutely not. Right? They enjoy privileges, but those privileges does not make them more Liberian than you are. In fact, if they are rational enough, they should even be serving you. That's what they should be doing. As leaders, they are they are people who are supposed to be serving you. Right? They are your servant. That's why they should call themselves servant leaders. Right? We're not in the age of monarchy. This is not a monarchical arrangement or establishment. Right? This is a democratic governance space. And you understand? And the laws are developed or designed for and on behalf of the people to meet the desires of the people. So when we made a decision in 2023, a lot of us to prefer change over incumbency, meaning preferring Unity Party over the CDC that was opting for continuity, that was an indication to the world that we were dissatisfied as a country with the level at which the CDC was running the country. So we demonstrated the desire for more, which we interpret as becoming better than what we were. From one institution to the other, from one agency to the other, from one commission to the other, situations of leadership, administration, governance, deliverables, projects, and programs ought to be better than what they were, because Liberian people demonstrated in 2023 that we wanted more. And when situations of individually evaluating the effect of those change or the change that was made in 2023 at different level, is these conversations stem from a nationalistic point of view, where beyond the politics of us versus them, we ought to look at what is happening with our national or our state infrastructure, our state institutions. Because guess what? Beyond the politics, beyond the sides that we support or the ideas that we align with, right? We all are desirous of benefiting from a more improved and more efficient service deliverable organization and institutions of government. For example, on the matter of the Ministry of Transport ensued, right? We may not have been at political length with the folks at the Ministry of Transport, right? Judging by 2023, as a lot of them were opposed. But again, when something threatens the viability and, of course, the functions of the Ministry of Transport, irrespective of who are the beneficiaries, we ought to stand for the right things. Having said that, a conversation about the Liberia Airport Authority ensued for the past week or two, whereby the board the LAA board issued or wrote a communication to the President's office, to the office of the President of the Republic of Liberia, in which they leveled several allegations and accusations against the management, the managing director to be specific, accusing him in a what? In a 16-count resolution. Is it 16 or how many? Right? Making several allegations, leveling several allegations against the management. And that became concerning because we did not want, like our previous, after 2023, that we'll have an airport that becomes worse than what it was previously, where allegations of mass looting will be going on. Right? Among some of the allegations that were leveled had to do with a renovation contract that was awarded to a company named Global Group of Companies as the prime contractor at a cost of $64,000 per unit for basic work such as roofing, painting, and minor bathroom and kitchen repairs. So according to the board chair, the board chair complained the MD to the president that money was whooping. Say he did his own evaluation from expert. The expert say all that thing the people won't do for $64,000, it could be done for $10,000. Because mind you now, we've all not seen physically, right? The units are supposed to be renovated. And how they're supposed to be renovated too. Taking into consideration the different material costs and all of that. He said $10,000. So indicating to the president that the management of the LAA were intending to steal $54,000 on each unit, assuming it was 5 units, 10 units, 15 units, so $54,000. You know, it sounds very big. It sounds very alarming. So we became concerned. Why would anybody want to do that? According to concerns raised by the board, the LAA board. And the chairman of the board is one Mr. Yan Martin. He's a Unity Party guy. And instead of an immediate audit by the General Auditing Commission and a full investigation by the Liberal Anti-Corruption Commission, the board chair also alleged that because the MD does not want audit to happen in all of that, so he quietly granted and asked the president for a leave of absence. And referred to the Ministry of Justice, an institution directly under the control of the executive. So we became interested. We went in. Tell me what is going on. The whole rescue team, what is their client thing? We don't even understand. Yeah, for them. We only understand because no way any group of pros will sit and say 54 million benefit, 54 million, and, you know, and inflating costs and setting salary by himself. And also made allegations of hiring a chief of office staff and setting the salary and all of that. So we use both sources. Where the board chair sent a communication, we went there. The office of the president. You know, some of you can be wondering, well, how Abune can manage? They want a part of our job now. You know, when you carpenter, you know how to put a nail in all the corners there, right? So it's part of our job. Our information we live in by, so we know how to get it. So a document that's that is still there, that was sent to the president in response and as part of investigation around this matter, has surfaced on our decks, and we thought to bring you it as it is, revealing. Because others may want to interpret these conversations in ways that will best suit themselves. Sometimes it's designed to undermine and undercut and divert the public attention from the real issues. We're not interested. We're not moved by that. So it says March 20, 2026 was when this response was issued. And let me see if I can get from the other document here, because we have the both documents here. If I can get this on when the board chair send their own communication. Okay. Okay. I'll try to get that. His Excellency Joseph Nima Boaka, Senior President, Republic of Liberia, reference response to concerns from LAA Board of Director Chairperson Honorable Yan Martin regarding LAA's MD Ernest Hodges' performance inefficiency. And for the record, I do not even know any of these individuals. But the allegations were so alarming and overwhelming. The 4,000, you know what I mean? What I said, people who say they came for change, then somebody taking $4,000 for something that 10,000 can do. Somebody chopping 54,000 and you count it across a different unit. No. So the cover letter is here. But I just wanted us to go straight into the responses. But let's run you through quickly. Say, I present my compliment and I am writing in response to the recent letter submitted by the chairperson of the Labrador Airport Authority to your esteemed office, which contains a series of allegations against my leadership as managing director. I wish to categorically refute these claims, which I believe are to be inaccurate, misleading, and malicious in nature. So he wrote his boss, the both of them boss, to tell him that, Chief, everything that Jan Martin sent to you are inaccurate, fallacious, misleading, and of course, maliciously intended to undermine whatever work we are doing at the airport. It is important to note that these criticisms stem from a small faction within the board of directors whose members have repeatedly demonstrated an interest in assuming senior leadership roles beyond their remit. You get the point? So, Jan Martin says the people the president appointed to the airport, they're doing nothing there. Like corruption, they're doing the stealing, they violating the law, they're respecting the board. The managing director says, Mr. President, that thing you put in your communication, that blatant lie, they're all designed. And the lie is coming from a small fraction from within the board. A few of them. And these few of them, fellow Liberians, our investigation have uncovered, are hardcore unity partisan and old folks. Right? One is the head of the LCAA, Civil Aviation Authority, right? And Jan Martin, and a few other, I think 4 in numbers, 3, 4 hardcore people, some of whom have been within the LAA system before now. They worked there for many, many years before now, right? They know the system and they have operated in the system in a certain way, and they want these to continue, and they will want for any management team at the airport to work at the whims and caprice and dictate of their desires. Anything on the contrary, they're able to rally these partisan forces, right, and deliver a compelling rebuke of whoever the manager, and that their political godfather will take an action and remove the person. And they're precedent to this. And this is further bringing into question the attitude of the different boards of director that President Bouakai has been constituting since he became president. The degree of authority that they've demanded, and in some instances, how they have deviated from their oversight functions to wearing a desire for a more practical administrative role in these institutions. One such is the Freeport of Monrovia, where the political leader, the party chairman, of the Unity Party serves on the board, and of course has a day-to-day running office in the port, when they should be working by what? Installment, right? They get, say, by annual, sometimes 3 times in a year, or emergency sitting. No. But under Mr. Bouakai, the board he constitutes primarily of his friends and his, acquaintance. They will rather want an administrative role. They want office right in the place. They won't sit down there and be part of the day-to-day. When you send for water, you must carry to them the CA, then the OKA. When somebody apply and you hiring the person, you must send the person's CV to the office. When they finish going through the person's CV, you want to employ the person must go, they must know the person. This, that. Should that be the role of board of directors? So the man say, these people, they want to technically usurp our functions. Because repeatedly they've demonstrated an interest in assuming senior leadership roles beyond their remit, beyond their oversight function as board of directors. They won't be in the active running of the institution. So because we are here, we're not permitting that. So they're leveraging their political party connections, right, to concoct and believing that they have the power, the connection to get us out. The same way the folks were able to successfully remove the lady from NOCA, right? When the board constituted there were changing and resetting, right, board fees and the number of times boards are supposed to meet and even taking office in the place. This is unprecedented. It is a culture given rise to by a desire to be corrupt and compromised. And it's important. Why it's true that we are alarmed by reports of corruptions, right, that must be investigated, audited, but at the same time, we must all begin to ask, why are these board of directors interested in sitting in the institutions and making day-to-day financial decisions? Their frustrations at being unable to overstep the boundaries of their authority has resulted in attempts to discredit my administration through baseless allegations. Hodges says, because we are not allowing them to come sit down here and be a part of day-to-day administrative work and, of course, influencing the running of the airport at the managerial level, not at the oversight, right, supervisory level, no. But they want beyond that. They won't sit down here. When you buy, and one remote sheet, they must know. When you buy this, they must see it, right? And they must dictate or they must say which company you must buy the remote sheet from. So because we're not doing that, so they have orchestrated and decided, right, to discredit the administration based on allegations that are unfounded according to the manager's letter to the president. Such actions do not reflect the collective view of the board. He believes the management is still telling the president that, Mr. President, that letter you get, it is not the reflection of the entire board or the broader LAA workforce. No, it is an organized cartel that put that together, headed by Yan Martin, who wants to be MD de facto, who believes that because he is more unity partisan than any other person, so this is their government, and he must enjoy beyond imaginable, leverage. Such actions do not reflect the collective view of the board or the broader LA workforce, but rather serve the interests of a minority seeking personal advancement. And this is troubling. This brings to question the credibility and integrity of Yan and his cohorts. If boards are supposed to be people of repute, people of high esteem, people of integrity, right, who will be developing these kinds of demonic and devilish satanic actions to undercut reformist activities simply because they want more for themselves, is troubling. So where is the the rescue. As the old folks are the engineer of malfeasance and malpractices in areas where they've been trusted to provide oversight, guardianship. I say no. To be waiting for after every 3 months before we go meet and then the girl setting fee. No. To ensure a fair and comprehensive understanding of the situation at LAA, I respectfully request that Your Excellency seek input not only from all members of the board. So the MD is saying, Mr. President, and I mean to put the allegation on. I agree. So, Mr. President, I beg you, for you to be sure that what I'm telling you, that these people desire is not to be criminal and corrupt and can't sit down here and take money for themselves when they actually supposed to be providing supervision, but they're leaving their job, they can't do our job, and they're demanding kickbacks on issues that we are not permitting, and they're angry. They've designed this to undermine and get off from here, right? Please, in your attempt to seek information, Mr. President, you should seek input not only from the members and, select member of the board, but get all the other board members to come and testify to you on these counts. Where they say, oh, I can't consult board, I can't do that, I can't do that, right? Just ask everybody. Say you know the truth, Mr. President. The letter is before the president, has been before the president sent the 20th of March. Right? And not only there, even you should go as far as representative samples of LAA employees. Talk to even employees to indicate to you that these allegations are frivolous, Mr. President. I am willing that you talk to the layman, and what you will gather from these should constitute your final decision. Right? Should constitute your final decision, Mr. President. Now, let's come to the point by point. What Yan Martin said, or what the president versus what the response the MD has submitted. And you understand? So can one response of the MD to can one where Yan accused or alleges unlawful actions, when Yan Martin alleges unlawful actions and poor management practices. So he says, on can one where he say our management here is unlawful, we are taking unlawful actions and poorly managing. Mr. President, on the first day in office, the unilateral dismissal of senior leadership at the Liberia Airport Authority was carried out based on suspicions of financial impropriety and allegations of involvement in financial cartel at the LAA. So the MD said the reason why on the first day he entered that place, he decided to dismiss or rotate people was because of information he got about some of those elements' involvement in a cartel of financial impropriety and whooping allegations of involvement in financial misdealing. Without the requisite board approval, according to this man, according to Yana, he said, without the requisite board approval or supporting evidence, the previous leaders and the newly appointed managing director team are reportedly receiving double compensation, resulting in increased payroll expense. They may say the management dismissed the people without board approval, and they inflated people's salaries without board approval. So the man came, listen to Hodges' response to that allegations. Hodges says, I write to formally address count one of the allegation presented by chairpersons of the Liberia Airport Authority, I categorically affirm that no senior leaders at the LAA were dismissed due to suspicion of financial impropriety or alleged involvement in any financial cartel. So the man tell the presidency that that narrative was concocted and is untrue. So he came to provide the actual picture. He said on November 19, 2025, certain senior leaders in critical roles were reassigned. He said what we did, we reassigned people. We did not dismiss or remove people, right? We reassigned, not remove, to preserve essential records and facilitate an impartial forensic audit. So we reassign people to preserve so that people will not take information leveraging the authority. So because an audit was coming, we reassign people, shift people around, and then I have the audit report here also. I have the audit report from the General Auditing Commission, right? There's the audit report. So that's how people were reassigned. But Yan and his cohorts did not like that. So they framed that to me outright arbitrary dismissals. So this reshuffle was necessary to ensure the integrity of the LAA financial procurement and human resource documentation and was conducted in response to concerns about the potential compromise of key leaders in finance, procurement, and human resource. So because they had intelligence that people are compromised, so what they could do to allow the other report to be done, right, was to reassign people. So you're not in your comfort zone anymore where you maybe take information or refuse to give certain information, you're reassigned. So just dismantle the whole thing. Then the order go ahead. At this time, there have been no prior interaction with the board regarding these concerns, which prompted urgent action to safeguard organizational interest. A subsequent board meeting was convened on November 28, 2025, where the reshuffle was duly discussed. So, according to Hodges, part of their issue to safeguard the integrity of the audit, they did the reshuffle, right? Because if you are going to tell the board, say, because they already have the intelligence, to tell the board, say, oh, we want you to approve the decision, we want to. So management decided in their wisdom to carry out the reshuffle. So on the 28th, when they met, they presented that action that was taken to seek the board deliberation, and the board deliberated on the matter, on the necessity and timing of the reassignments, and formally, according to the MD, on the 28th, the board meeting on the 28th, right? The board formally approved the action that was taken on the 19th of November 2025. The November 2028 board meeting minutes is available. These deliberations can be attested to by the corporate scribe and board members in attendance at the meeting. Additionally, the board resolved to commission a forensic audit. When the board approved that reassignment, that Yan Martin has communicated to the president that it was a dismissal, in the very board meeting, they approved it and the minutes available. So what do you think? So we are supposed to sit down here for certain elements to think that they can use the media, right, at their personal benefit. Promoting this whole nonsense about partisanship over professionalism. Because if we allow that to happen, then it will make it difficult for a government of inclusion. And we are saying that Liberia has experts everywhere. We must run a government of inclusion. Allegations too on unauthorized recruitment and hiring in finance. Right? Yan said in this allegation, He said 2 of the allegations regarding the recruitment and hiring of a full financial team without board review and approval that, to clarify, during the day 1 transition on November 19, 2025, only 2 senior managers, 2, a chief financial officer and a financial controller were appointed in finance. So only 2. Right? These appointments were necessary to ensure operational continuity and safeguard financial records following the reassignment of previous incumbents in critical areas. Based on the action that was taken in November 19, 2025, it created the need for recruitment of 2 officers in the finance department. Chief financial officer and a controller. These were the only 2 that they hired. He said, subsequently apprised of these appointments and formally granted retroactive approval. So the board subsequently appraised the appointment of these 2 individuals and grant approval during its meeting on November 28, 2025. So how come Young comes back and say that these actions were taken without the acquiescence of the board? This sequence of events underscores that the recruitment actions were both prudent and transparent. It is important to distinguish between operational management and board governance. Senior leadership holds the authority to recruit and appoint employees to maintain effective operation, while board notification remains a best practice for oversight and good governance. Right? However, the board should avoid assuming direct operational responsibilities such as recruitment, which remain within the purview of management. So, Mr. President, the board chair won't be the one to recruit. The board chair won't be the one to decide who become controller, who become chief financial officer. And we are saying no. Those are the argument. Can 3 on consultancy, blah, blah, blah. But let's come to the 15%. That was the main one. Safety consulting. Right? Derek Neuville. Say, Mr. President, Mr. Neuville was initially engaged as an independent consultant. No, I'm not sure this is the one I am looking for. The consultancy thing, and those that were hired for consultancy, it's important for you to know, right? They hired a security consultant officer from the Liberia National Police, blah, blah, procurement process and compensation determination. 4, allegation number 4, unilateral creation of chief of staff outside of approved organogram and unilateral determination of US 5K monthly compensation, blah, blah. The management responded to say that that is precedent. It has been the case there. So we need to talk to PASS. Okay. So Interkent, that is the most important one. And that is the one that also draw a lot of attention. Wherein the board chairman said that the manager was demanding 15% from a foreign company before paying. The manager was demanding 15% before paying the people money, which was a terrible action. People carry out work, and that for the government about to pay them, then you say now as manager, you say before you approve, that company must pay 15%. They must guarantee you 15% in kickback. So the board chair raised that. And we all felt it was concerning. But now the MD says, no. Hodges says to the president, Your Excellency, with reference to Can 5 of the chairperson's letter addressed to you, I wish to categorically address the allegations concerning Interkent's contractor fees and purported requests for kickbacks. As manager